Nothing feels worse than disallowing who you are. And feeling unworthy, not believing in who you are, is the most significant, pressing, most often offered defiance of who you really are. It's what people chronically do, disallow who they really are. And when you get over that, oh, it is so delicious. So how do you get over it? Just one thought at a time. Why do you think that you don't believe in your well-being or in your goodness? Or better question, how does it show up to you? What manifests that let you know it? Not letting the energy flow is what exhausts you. When it flows, it's exhilarating, you see. People are reflecting back to you how you feel. They're not reflecting back to you who you are. They're certainly not reflecting back to you who you really are. All they're doing is giving you feedback about how you feel. Doesn't that make it feel different? In other words, I don't feel that I'm good enough, and you are confirming that you don't think I'm good enough, but the reason you don't think I'm good enough is because I don't think I'm good enough. We're just caught in this spiral, aren't we? So you need to start thinking I'm good enough so that I can feel that I'm good enough. Doesn't work that way, does it? So we'll ask you some questions. Do you think it's possible that you can feel differently about yourself than you have before? Do you think that sometimes you are sure that you're good enough? Do you think that that feeling is really more about your alignment with your inner being than anything else? Do you think that you have the ability to align with your inner being eventually on most subjects? Do you think that some subjects are easier than others? Do you think that it would be prudent to spend a little time on those easy subjects? Do you think that since some subjects are easy and the whole goal is to be lined up with who you are, do you think that it doesn't matter what subject lines you up? Just pick the easy one and line up. So, doesn't it feel silly in light of this to start with the hard thing and then beat yourself up on it? So, right now, you've got to feel good enough. In other words, here you are. Seriously. I've been saying for a long while, when you, rather than wanting to have love shined at you, if instead you're loving, it feels the same. Because whether you're being loved and it's reflecting back through you, or whether you're loving, it feels the same. That's what you're seeking, you see. People are wanting to be loved. Everyone wants to be loved. Because when someone holds you as their object of attention and they're in sync with this source energy, oh, it feels so good as it floods all over you. And then you want it all the time. But to be dependent upon someone else to flood it to you, then sometimes they go to work or sometimes they give their attention to something else. And then you feel like a puppet that someone has let go of the strings. Because who you really are and what you really know is in complete confidence and acknowledgement of the wholeness that is you. And when you deviate from that thought, it feels awful. In other words, everything that you feel in any moment is only about how true to yourself you're being or not. How much of who you are allowing or not. And there are so many reasons that people find to disallow. Many people stand, let's just take the subject of physical well-being. Many people stand in a place where they either have strong fear that something might go wrong, or a determination that they're going to hold it away. And in either case, that's resistance. But when you reach this place where you're not pushing against anything, but instead trusting that whatever comes you can line up with, that anything that needs to be healed will send a rocket of expansion that is delicious when you allow yourself to receive it fully. The attention to what needs to be healed holds you in the vibration that disallows it, where the very fact that something needs to be healed has put a solution to which we are giving our undivided attention. So the very word something needs to be healed is just addressing the vibrational gap between what's really going on and what you're letting go on. The problem or the sickness or the thing that needs to be healed has a solution or a wellness or an expansion counterpart. And so the solution is so viable and so wanted and so important, but cannot really exist without the problem. So the key is to let life create the solution and then line up with it as consistently and completely as you can. And what everyone will tell you who's ever passed through an uncomfortable situation is that once they find the solution, it was always worth the problem. And big solutions make big problems even worth it. Although while you're standing in the problem seeking the healing, it doesn't seem that way, you see. It doesn't matter what a situation is, it can be aligned. In fact, the more uncomfortable something is, the bigger and brighter the solution is. When a solution is really big and bright, then there is more possibility for movement on it. This too shall pass. There are all kinds of resources that are available. I don't have to address this specific subject in this specific way. I'm feeling the ease of my general focus. I like feeling that I can control the way I feel by focusing my thought. It is satisfying to me to realize that just by talking to myself and focusing in the way that I am, or that I can at any time, that I can relieve discomfort and come into a better feeling place. It is satisfying to me to realize that the way I feel is about my focus, not about any specific situation. The situation isn't the reason I feel this way. My focus is the reason I feel this way. Because my focus is the reason I feel this way, then it is never necessary for me to ever feel bad because I always have the ability to focus. I have the ability to bring myself relief. I have the ability to bring myself into alignment regardless of what is. I have the ability to bring myself in alignment regardless of any manifestation that may be temporarily showing itself. I have the ability to bring myself into alignment because I know about the laws of the universe. I have the ability to cause myself to feel better because I have the ability to focus my mind. I like knowing that as I find this general place where I am generally feeling discomfort, but it's much less acute than it was before, that I am in a vicinity where I can feel better and better. I like knowing about the laws of the universe. I like knowing that there are no exceptions to the laws of the universe. I like knowing that anyone can bring themselves from wherever they are to wherever they want to be, that there is a certain and gentle path that will lead them to wherever they want to be. I like the idea that by knowing what I don't want, I know more clearly what I do want. I like the idea of solutions being born out of problems, and I like the idea of me or anyone reclaiming the solution that they are looking for. I like the idea that solutions are expansion, and that solutions and expansion come on the heels of sometimes things that are not so uncomfortable. It makes me realize that there's nothing that I ever need to fear and hold fear that is going to sweep over me, or hold off as if I could hold it off, that I am now in a position where I understand that I can just take life as it comes. I never get it done, and I can't get it wrong. So when something comes that feels wrong, because it isn't done, it doesn't have to stay wrong, because the wrongness of it creates the rightness of it, and I have the ability to focus myself in the direction of the rightness of it. So I have the ability to be weller or righter or feeling better than I ever was before the wrongness came. There's never a reason for anything to envelop me or to take me over or to take me out unless I choose for that to be. I am the creator of my own experience. Everything that I have chosen is for the purpose of what's in my vortex. There are all kinds of things in my vortex that I don't even realize that I put there, that in combination have caused different things to happen. I actually am calling things through me, and in calling them through me for the purpose of using my conscious ability and my emotional guidance system to line up with them so that I can understand that I'm the creator of my own experience. I'm playing life in a really big game, and the stakes get higher and higher and higher and more fun when you're you're really good at creating and you've created everything in the world that you can think of, why not find some way to bring yourself to a new and deeper emotional level so that you can, in a very sensitive way, discover newness in life that you've never been able to discover before. I've witnessed so many people who have moved through things like this, who are richer and deeper and living better lives than they've ever lived before, who will say again and again, I wouldn't give that experience up for anything because of the expansion that I've discovered. Expansion that I do not believe I would have discovered in any other way, or at least not as quickly or as profoundly. There is never a reason for me to fear or worry about anything. Everything is always working out for me. I came to be a deliberate creator, and a deliberate creator I be. I came to be a joyous deliberate creator, and a joyful deliberate creator I be. There is never a reason for me to ever fear anything or to be guarded against anything. It's just this wonderful mix of life experience that's giving me opportunities to expand and to reclaim constantly my newfound beingness of who I am. I embrace life in all of its contrast because I know in all of it there is only joyful expansion that has been set up for me. When you get tuned in to who you are and you're looking out at the world, your appreciation of others is palpable. And the inspiration to offer the words is too. Their readiness to hear your words is their deal, not your deal. So in the same way, so there are people that you want to assist. What you want to do is let the soothing flow through you, to let the appreciation flow through you. The fastest way to help anybody, no matter what, is to find some aspect of them that you can genuinely appreciate. When you say, Abraham, what's the thing that could be most appreciated in this moment or in this moment or in this moment? We say, now you are assisting with healing. You feel the difference? Appreciation is your tool. In order for you to appreciate, you have to be in the vortex, hooked to the stream where you've got something to give. So it's a sort of circular thing that's going on. If you're determined to appreciate, then you're determined to be in the vortex. And when you're in the vortex, you've got something to give. But if you're a servant that's wanting to heal, now you're looking for a problem, you find a problem, you're not in the vortex, you can't help it. So, looking for things to appreciate. So, your work is to find anything in your vicinity or in your recent or distant past, anything that you can appreciate. Anything that you can appreciate. Everybody has a vortex. Everybody has a vibrational relationship to the vortex. And you can't, this is the thing that Esther's just figuring out. She can't ask Barbara to fix something so that she can feel better. Barbara can't give it to her. Karen can't give it to her. Mark can't give it to her. Mike can't give it to her. All these lovely people that are around, all they can do is move things around. Maybe distract her, but they can't. In other words, it's not their job to soothe Esther, and it's not your job to soothe anybody else. You live through the clarity of your example, you see. And so, when you have a desire to tune into who you are, and you do it on a really regular basis, then it's like you can't give alignment to anyone else. You can just confirm their alignment or their misalignment. And if you're aligned and they're not, they can't find you. And for you to find them, you got to be out of alignment, and then you can't help them. Isn't this interesting? This business of service is so interesting, because the people that you seek to serve are on a different wavelength than you are when you're in alignment. And so it's just your personal inside job. People say, oh, Abraham, you teach selfishness. We say, yes, we do. You've got to be selfish enough to find your alignment, and then those ready for you will show up. So then someone tentative, someone dealing with an issue, someone out there in a sort of maybe in, maybe not in, maybe not in, rendezvous with you, and because of your alignment, they get a whiff of it and they feel aligned. And then words come out of your mouth that confirm the value that you see in them.